Hey everybody, it's Ricardo, and I'm here with kind of a little look into the future. I'm sitting here with Jake, Borut, and Ben from Haunted Temple Studios. So let's talk about your game. It's called Skulls of the Shogun, and it's kind of haunted. So talk to us about it.
It's a tactical turn-based strategy game, sort of, just a couple guys trying to do something crazy and different with the genre, trying to speed it up and make the gameplay more accessible to a wider audience than maybe normally would be. It takes place in medieval afterlife Japan, kind of an unusual spot.
Let's dive right in and have a look. All right, so dead shogun, samurai people. Talk to us about where we are, and is there a story behind this? What's everybody's motivation right now?
There's a story. I mean, a lot of it is sort of a multiplayer fighting game. Think about it that way. I mean, the motivation in the story mode is definitely there for the campaign, where there's an overarching story where you're going after the guy who betrayed you in life and trying to take on the shogun in the afterlife. But the multiplayer mode is more of sort of a fun, sit on the couch with your friends or play on XBLA or over the network. If we do a PlayStation version, it's meant to be a fast-paced, fun sort of tactical strategy game. I mean, there's kind of nothing really quite like it in the genre. There's a lot of these tactical strategy games, but we're trying to do a lot of things differently. You'll notice we have no grid. It feels more like an action game almost, although it is turn-based. And it's, like I said, fast-paced, and there's a lot of new sort of tactics and a lot of experimental ideas. We're kind of trying to play with some new gameplay ideas. So,
all right, well, let's start to break this down for people. So, for those of us that play strategy games, this is pretty familiar. But, for folks that can't quite make everything out, we do have different classes on screen. So you may talk to us about the unit classes and what they do and how your big gun, who's just kind of chilling in the back, fits into all of it.
So, like the guy right now, that's a cavalry. The cavalry are on horseback, so they get to move farther than everybody. They're pretty good fighters. Right there, you've got the infantry, who's sort of the heavy linebacker guy. He takes the most defense, or he takes the most hits. He's kind of a brawler, so he's a good guy to have on the front line up there. And then behind them, you have the archers, who don't have a lot of defense, but they have a very strong offense, and they can shoot from a distance. So they're very powerful, and it's all about sort of less about the rock, scissors, paper of each unit having a distinct advantage over another type of unit. It's more each one has a different strength and a different weakness, and it's how you use them in combination that sort of is the heavy part of the tactics. The general sits in the back and just gets stronger generally over every turn that you don't sort of activate him and bring him onto the battlefield. But once you do, he's a very powerful warrior, and defending him and supporting him correctly is sort of the key to success. Toppling the opposing general is the key to the game. So, by killing the other general, you win, and it's basically all up to you properly using his strengths and protecting him.
So we did see one of the most important classes in the game, although maybe not the most offensive, your caster class. So do you want to talk to us about our little dude down at the bottom?
The fox
there?
monk here.
Fox.
So this little guy, he you haunt structures in the game. So you'll go to these little temples and shrines hidden in the bamboo, and you'll haunt them as a ghost, and that will summon these spirit monks, these little animal monks from these different planes of the netherworld that'll come support you in your fight. So this guy is the fox monk, and he is a defensive guru. So he can help heal units, he can defend them. He takes a lot of hits himself, so he's good to sort of just keep on the battlefield, healing everybody up and keeping everybody in fighting gear. He can also deny the use of one of the greatest power-ups in the game, is the heads. So when you die, you leave your head there, and eating the heads of your enemy, eating the skulls of your enemies is the other currency in the game. It's sort of how you power up. And so eating it there, he just ate one there, and he'll be a stronger offense now. He's got more hit points. You eat a couple of those, and you actually transform into what we're calling a war demon. And the war demon has twice as many attack points, it has twice as many hit points, and he's almost as strong as one of the generals. But your fox monk can heal your friendly skulls and take them off the battlefield so that your enemies are not allowed to eat that power up.
And so the game's got a very stylized look. What made you decide to go in this particular direction?
I'm a big fan of really classic anime from the 60s and the late 50s, the simple characters, and I lived in Japan for a long time, and I really loved the sort of Japanese supernatural stuff and the ghosts and the demons, and I wanted to do something that kind of visually stood out, and it was a little bit different than a lot of the stuff you see on the market today. Sort of an American take at a Japanese look.
Very cool. And so now I'm sure what everybody's wondering is, when can they get it on what platforms? But you guys aren't quite ready to reveal everything, but what can you tell us?
You can expect the game probably some point early next year, and we're going to try to get it on as many platforms as possible because we want everyone to play it.
All right, well, there you go. Everybody, that is your first look at Skulls of the Shogun. Thanks to Haunted Temple Studios for their debut on Today on the Spot, and just to the development world in general. And you can check back on the site in the months to come to find out more about the game.